This podcast is sponsored by Music Bolt, the world's easiest, fastest, and most reliable way to get online music lessons. If you're ever thinking about picking up a new skill, get some lessons from Music Bolt. Well, I guess we got to start up the show with two of my best buds from Berklee and Boston Conservatory. I have both drum prodigy Jacob Josefsberg and the mastermind himself, Jack Villhard, on the podcast today. They're both in my super awesome progressive metal group, which we're all super hype about. And they're from the South.
Deep South.
How y'all
Hey,
doing?
I'm in New York. I'm still a New Yorker. I don't care where I'm at.
You know, the Missouri twang comes in every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's not lost.
Dude, you mentioned that. Like, I don't really hear it that much, but sometimes it comes up just randomly.
It's that Midwestern thing. If you've ever watched Supernatural, you'll know they talk like this. We're like this sometimes. It's like almost a mix of California.
Or, dude, wait, like Ozark, you know, like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, Darlene or whatever.
It's my home.
Sure.
It's my home.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, how you guys holding up lately?
Well, it's weird, man.
Pretty okay. Actually, things are going great for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I feel bad. I feel bad because people are talking about how much of an emotional struggle it's been, and things are going fine for me.
It's weird because
I got to meet two of my drum heroes. Like, it's
Dude,
been
that's
great.
Sick.
Yeah.
Dude, you wanna talk about that? Like, wait, who were you?
Name drop.
Name drop. Who?
Yeah, Ray Hearn of Haken is giving me consistent lessons, and I'm taking a couple with Blake Richardson of Between the Buried and Me.
That's freaking crazy.
Just to get to meet him. Oh yeah, they're both actually really cool, which is great. So now I can keep listening to their music without feeling awkward.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and now you get to wear your ankle weights. And
Yeah.
score those.
Ray Hearn approved method of getting the sexiest, double bassiest legs alive is to strap on some ankle weights.
So,
and play some drums.
do you ever like feel like nervous to like talk to them because like they're like these two like drum like gods of like today right now? It's like
I'm just gonna guess right now before you give your answer. The answer's no. I feel because knowing Jake, I feel like you just immediately insert yourself and you're part of it.
For Blake Richardson, it was like that because Blake Richardson has like super high for Ray Hearn because I met him first. For like the first lesson with him, I was a little bit nervous, but he's got like a chill vibe. Like he's about my speed in terms of just normal vibe. So
wait, so you're telling me that this other guy doesn't have a normal vibe?
No, he doesn't have he's like a lot more energetic than I am. The guy from he's got like all the I can't like muster up the energy to get super excited about things all the time, but this guy's like got it. Right. He's really got that energy, and I appreciate it.
Okay,
man, that's crazy, and especially like this is probably incorporating to a lot of stuff that we're writing and stuff. Like, dude, first off, dude, let me just point out to the audience, we're making music and stuff, and every time, Jay comes up with a new thing, like the next day he's like, oh, you know that thing I made? Yeah, I changed it. It's like he always changes it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, man. Well, nothing's ever good enough the first
it sounds
time.
better and better, but like, oh my gosh.
All right, well that's why we have to like go through section by section, and I have to just be like, this is it. This is what it is, and I can't change it anymore. This is it.
That's right.
It got to the point where I was writing lyrics, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I feel like what you guys are doing is almost like I can't be part of it. I have to step back for a second, let you do what you're doing, and then be like, okay, what do you need?
Right.
What do we need right here? What's our melody? What's happening?
We're basically certified Tool members, and you're Maynard James Keenan. who just keeps getting sent music, and then you write lyrics over it, and then we come back and be like, oh, that whole thing's different now.
I just watched an interview.
We need this.
I just watched an interview with Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, and he goes, you know, I don't know what a minor chord is. I don't know what a major chord is. If someone asks me how to play guitar, I probably know the least about guitar or music theory than anyone. I don't even know how to write music. And it just made me think about like my position in this band as a musical theater student at Boston Conservatory, inducted into metal, and just like, it's fun because it's like you guys and your passion for your instruments somehow fueled it, like you gave it to me. And I didn't need to be, like, born from it like you guys were.
Right, but you were the perfect candidate because, one, you were my roommate, so it's just like, you can't leave me. And, and two, you did the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing. You're a really good writer. And, I still hate writing lyrics. Like, lyrics are just, like, the worst thing. I just can't, And, like, especially because, like, you read a really good story and stuff. It's just, like, this is a really good idea to, like, give this guy, the job of, like, making, like, lyrics for, like, this concept album and stuff. Because, like...
It's good because you guys are really, really skilled at your instruments. Everyone I talk to, I'm constantly like, I don't know how I'm at school with these guys. Like... I mean, personally, because you look at this Berklee and you say, okay, well, you made it into the program, you made it into the school, you look at all the people who went through it, right? And then you wonder, okay, so I'm here, so what's up? What am I doing? But with you guys, it's like you guys get to do what you love, and I can do what I love, which is writing, and then we just get to put it together, to splice it together.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you mentioned.
I know you've been hitting those Eddie Vedder vocals hard.
Yeah, there's so much research. Well, I was talking to my vocal instructor, Joan Later, who does musical theater, and I was talking to Carrie Deal, my vocal instructor through Boston, and I was like, so I'm going to tell you the worst words you could ever hear come out of a musical theater major's mouth ever right now. I'm in a metal band. And they were like, fuck you. They were like, you are going to destroy your voice. You're never going to be able to sing again.
You're not like screaming or anything, but dude, that's so funny.
But I told him, I said, I'm going to do it healthily. I'm going to look up stuff. And so I looked up Eddie Vedder, and I was watching his videos. And he was doing this weird shit with his mouth where he was bringing his mouth up to the microphone, like the side, and he was singing out of one of his cheeks. And it was kind of a way of getting resonance that was guttural here instead of in your throat, right? Instead of, creating raspiness in your larynx, just tearing it to shreds, doing it up here where it's like this resonance is right there. And so I was looking at that sort of stuff, and Kurt Cobain too a little bit. And even though he kind of shredded his voice,
yeah,
to figure out ways to do it healthily, so I can do both things.
Yeah, dude. You mentioned Kurt Cobain and like how he didn't really have any like theory lessons or anything. Look at like I don't know, like some people from the Beatles, like they didn't have any music theory lessons or anything like that. They just like fucked around on the piano and stuff. And they just had a really good ear too, which just like just came naturally for them.
Or like Brian Wilson, Pet Sounds.
Oh my gosh.
His kind of style of writing, he was more about like he said to the celloists. I watched that movie about Love and Mercy, about their story, and he said to the celloists at one point, "I want you guys to sound like helicopters," and they were like, "We don't know how to do that." And he was like, "Well, figure it out." And then, like for hours, they just tried to sound like helicopters for him. He didn't know how to say it musically. That's the only thing he could really say.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna use this time to shout out to our sponsors. So yeah, 3 a.m. podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Music Bolt, the world's most simplistic, reliable, and inexpensive way to get online music lessons. If you want some really great online drum lessons as well, Jacob right here is an amazing drummer, and he needs new students. So please give us a call
I need more
or
money, actually,
email
mostly.
in the description. So yeah. Yes, sorry about that. I had to
it's
do
funny.
That.
No, yeah, it's funny because like Jake, you're talking about you're working with these like crazy. And when I tell my dad knows these bands too, and I go, imagine there's this kid and he's just taking lessons from these guys, and my dad's like, that would be really fucking crazy. You should try to do that, Jack. Find someone famous and get lessons from them. And I was like, well, my buddy Jake, who I'm rooming with next year, is doing that. And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah. So I mean, if you're getting lessons, it's like in my theater class, the dude I learn acting from learned from a guy who learned from Stanislavski. So it's coming from a good lineage. So with Jake, take lessons with Jake. It's like it's coming from a good lineage.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing the metal thing.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
These guys are all over that. Yeah, man, it's really nothing special. Like they put ads out on Instagram, and I just emailed them.
Yeah.
I figured they would have a ton of people trying to apply because they are who they are. Yeah. So I tried to like sell myself a little bit. I was like, hey, listen, I go to Berklee, and I really having a little bit of dry spell because of this whole thing.
Billboard. I go to Berklee.
I go to Berklee, so I'm a Berklee student, and
I'm a big shot.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I hear.
Yeah, listen, I'm really good.
It's like whenever I hear people from the Boston Conservatory being like, "Yeah, I'm in the conservatory."
Oh my gosh.
I'm from the conservatory. Like they don't say conservatory, just conservatory. I was at a Harvard frat party, which is what you think it is. There's a coat check and everything. And they're drinking wine and they're talking about polo or whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely talking about like crew and listening to like jazz or something. Just, like,
right. And they're talking about being
nice
lawyers and doctors.
With their polo,
Yeah.
collars and bow ties.
Exactly. And what can you do? So I'm just like, yeah, I'm from the conservatory. That's what I'm doing over there, singing at the conservatory. And they're like, oh, yes, the conservatory.
Did you do the fake British accent, too?
Well, you have to. I mean...
Were you British the whole time?
Yes.
In order to seem just a little bit smarter, you add just the hint of a British accent, not the full thing.
And you have the eyeglasses specifically for accessorizing.
Of course.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm actually I started up this new thing I did with my other episode called Wind the Clock, which is basically we're going to take me back to where you guys got started. So who wants to go first, Jake or Jack? Jake wants to go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you're going to go first. Pressure's on you.
Well, you know how parents try to use their kids to fulfill their broken dreams? So my mom.
Yeah, I do.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not a parent.
I think everyone. You know, how parents beat their children, right? You know how you get beaten a lot. Yeah.
No, but...
you know how that is. No, Jake. Continue.
So my mom had always wanted to like learn guitar. And she just never did it, so she tried to give me guitar lessons, and I just hated it. Because I was like 6, stupid. And it's like that's too young. That's too young to start being like you have to learn how to do the G chord. And it's like at 6 years old, I don't want to sit there and do that. So she signed me up for some camp called Day Jams, and she was like, "You want to do guitar or drums?" And I was like,
or
oh
guitar,
my gosh.
or
that is. I relate with that so hard. Wait, go on. I'll tell you the story later. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but I was like, you know what? I tried guitar and I didn't like it, so I'm gonna go drums. And she was like, "Really? You want to do drums?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do drums." So I went to this camp, and for like a week, they just taught me like the basics, and then after that, I was a drummer. But then specifically for right now, because drumming was just like a hobby, I planned on like being a lawyer or something.
You told me about that.
So, because I could have gone into finance, but I didn't want to keep the stereotype going. For anyone just listening to the audio, I'm a Jewish.
Jew power.
That's why that joke's funny.
Yeah.
But I listened to like I was just gonna do like the lawyer thing and just have drumming as a hobby, and then I listened to Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from a Memory, and then I listened to it again, and then I listened to it 5 more times, and then I said, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. That was the album when I was like, I'm actually going to do this.
And how old were you when you like first became about Dream Theater? You know, that first came out.
Oh no, that I can't. I got onto them late. I got onto them when I was like sophomore year.
That was about right for me. Not gonna lie, like about freshman, sophomore year as well. Like I didn't really know them till later.
Yeah. Around when The Astonishing came out is when I got onto them.
Oh wait, mine was when
I have to ask.
I was when it was the self-titled album came out, and I was like, it was funny because it was just like when I was first, looking into them, I was just like, I saw videos of them with Mike Mangini, and then I saw an older video with Mike Portnoy. I was like, who the heck is this guy? It was like, wait, they're not the same people. What happened?
I was like, wow, that guy got a lot of sun.
So I have to ask Jake, you were part of drum corps.
Oh, yeah.
Can't leave that out.
Oh. Yeah, it was part of the marching band.
Yeah, so how many people who end up going into metal music could do that? Because is that a thing where it's like first you're in drum corps, and then you're then you're in metal?
I don't think so. They're fundamentally entirely different. Because like when I first started out drum corps, I was playing like super loud and stuff, and my band director always had to be like, "All right, John Bonham, calm down, like ease it up a bit."
Yeah.
Like as far as I know, for the 2 metal drummers I've talked to, they know about drum corps and they know what it's about. I don't know if they have personal experiences, but if I talk about it, they know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So for drummers, it's pretty popular because drum lines are like crazy, like the peak of like hand technique stuff.
Yeah.
Because they do all this crazy fast, crazy like rhythmic stuff, and they also play it exactly clean with each other.
Yeah.
Like they sound like one person.
And
so for drummers, that's like crazy hand technique stuff.
It's a multifaceted thing too, because you're walking around or you're standing usually, so it's like you have to be in complete control of your hands and not need to focus on and like able to do other things.
Well, yeah, it helps you be able to like keep time and stuff because you have to be marching in time while you're playing. So it's just and it's even worse because you do like parades and stuff where you just walk in time, just straight forward, and you just play like these simple cadences. But like what you actually have to do is you have to do like halftime shows for football games and stuff. So you have dots on the field on certain yard measurements, and you have to switch directions, and you have to have like 32 steps here and then 16 steps here.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And so you actually have to be counting the steps. Yeah, you have to be like counting the steps. You have to stay in line with everybody. You have to be on your exact dot to make the whole form look right. But so yeah, you could definitely get a lot of skills from that you can use on the drum set. And it's also a great opportunity because local television will like pick up the football games.
Yeah.
So and they'll also film the halftime shows. So we got some opportunities to play for some decent sized stadiums and for local TV. So it was great. I recommend it.
Good stuff for like a reel if you want like a little like document of what you've done.
Oh yeah, the one time there was one time some local TV station came in to just film us while we were playing one of our songs just on the stage, and somehow the guy running the camera, there's this whole drum solo section where each, like the snares get a solo, the basses get a solo, the tenors get a solo, and somehow he managed to avoid every single drum solo that ever happened.
That is gold.
Like the snares were soloing
something with sticks. Let's
go the other direction.
No,
forget that
these
guy.
guys.
No, legit.
We don't want to film
the snares
hands.
were
we want to
soloing.
film faces. So let's get some people blowing. Let's get some trumpets going.
He was still filming the drummers. It was just the snares were soloing off screen, and he just had the camera on the basses doing absolutely nothing. and he didn't switch. Like, he just stayed there and committed.
Yeah, he's like,
it's
all the same. It's all the same. You can't tell what those hands are doing.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jake, for that. It was pretty.
Sure.
Good. What about you, Jack?
Oh,
that's your turn. Spotlight.
Well, it's. Oh God, I'm not used to that. So I'm like I'm a theater student or something. It's weird. It's weird because I feel like I'm a theater student, and that shouldn't be a theater student. When you hear theater kid, 100 things come to your mind, you know. But I actually
Gay?
like. Yeah. Well, 100 things come to your mind. Like, I was in a rock band. I played alternative rock for a long time. Back when I had those high-ass tenor notes. I was singing like a bunch of alt, like 90s alt, and finally my mom was like, dude, you got too much energy. You got to do something with it. Like, try out for this show. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to be a theater kid, so we'll see how this goes. And then I did it, and I was like, shit, I like it. But it was weird because even now, like you said, like I do a lot of writing, and I'm in a metal band now. It doesn't really like, it's not like part of me like it is some kids. Some kids who do theater, it's literally that is who they are. The only thing they will talk about is what their dream roles are,
right? Yeah.
Or what are their favorite musicals, which isn't necessarily bad because like it's a great thing to be interested in. But like I don't know, I haven't seen many musicals. I don't know of many things about like musical histories, but I know a lot about alternative rock. So it was weird. It's weird to have started from like just playing gigs with my buddies to like all of a sudden I'm on the stage, and then to be going to school for it.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like you find a lot of theatrics in playing metal. It's weird, like singing metal, right? Because I was writing these lyrics down, and I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. You guys are all in my Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should do a podcast for the next.
Oh,
campaign.
absolutely. We should definitely. Now to just
we play.
Just to be clear, so when I was rooming with Jack, it was so funny because some random day, it was like a Friday morning, and I was like half awake. He was like, he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, hey Max, just to let you know, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday morning at 8:00. You're going." And I was like, all right, well, nothing's stopping me. Nothing's stopping me, so might as well just go. And I went, and I always thought that like D&D was like, I don't know, this like nerdy thing or whatever, but I don't know. It's just like we all got really, it absolutely is, but we all got totally into it, and it's just like the more I went, it was just like the more fun it just was for like, it's just like it was such a fun experience. Even though I came in like the middle part of like the campaign, because I arrived.
It's acting for non-actors, dude. Like everyone secretly wants to be James Bond or Indiana Jones or fucking like I don't know, Superman, right?
Yeah.
And for me, acting that's my way to be those guys. I can just pretend. Right. But for people who don't want to do that, but also want to be these people, you just play Dungeons and Dragons because you can be whoever the fuck you want.
It's so.
And there's no feeling better than being someone who you're not. Whenever you hate yourself.
It's just so great because it's just like Jack is an amazing DM, and like he'll like bounce between like 5 different characters, and like they all have like a different accent, a like different tone of voice. Like they'll all be like a low pitch or like a British guy or something like that. It's just
people
so
walk
great.
in down because like we were all in a dorm, so we use the common room, and as people are walking through, they hear me do like weird ass voices. They hear you guys do weird ass.
Oh yeah,
voices.
we always used to hog the big table. Like we had we didn't really live in like a dorm. We lived in like an apartment. It was like an apartment style. Like
it was kind of it was a Boston dorm, which is essentially it was like
an apartment. It was like an apartment.
It's like a brownstone kind of.
Yeah, it was more homey. Like I remember when I was at Temple, it was just like, it was like cinder block walls, 10th floor, living with one guy, and it was like there was like a common bathroom and stuff. By the way, our common bathroom sucked. It absolutely it was so bad. It was so awkward. weird. It was so weird.
Well, there's one toilet, and then there's a huge counter with 2 to 3 sinks and 3 sinks, right?
And a shower.
And a shower.
There was all
with
the
no
space.
dividers, nothing.
There was all the space too. It was just like.
It's all the space. It's like you could have added a bunch more urinals in there. I mean, come on, something. But no, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Our bathroom was perfectly fine.
You had your own fucking
bathroom.
Shut
up. I don't know if you guys had ever gone up to our bathroom.
Every time mine was full, which was pretty much every time I wanted to use it. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've been in your bathroom.
I have a theory that there was definitely like stalls or something, but then maybe someone like destroyed them, and then they just got too lazy and they were like, fuck it, let's just give them one toilet and like 5 sinks.
This will be the best senior prank ever.
Makes sense. I mean, the freaking window blew in. I don't know if you guys know this, but you know that big piece of wood?
That was ours.
No, my bathroom.
Wait, was that in yours too?
Yeah, apparently. Okay, well
ours
now I'm
did too.
Just hearing of this that it happened twice. But but yeah, the fucking wind blew our window frame into glass, shattered everywhere, and they put a big piece of wood over it. This was like halfway through first semester, and it's just been like that since.
Oh yeah, that's why that wood plank
ours
was just like there.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the heck?
And you were
yeah.
You didn't get here until that was already like that. Yeah.
Our window blew out while I was in the shower.
I was in the dude. No, you're kidding me. I was in my shower. I was legitimately in my shower, and I heard a crash. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
It must have been at the same time. Were we taking a shower together?
Here's what happened. What?
Were we in the same shower, man? You scrub my back, I scrub yours.
No, ours wasn't as bad because like the top blew out and the bottom just held on for dear life, and then me and Tristan somehow managed to fix it.
Oh my gosh! See, ours it just
pop
completely
it back
fell.
in.
Completely fell. Just blew in.
Dude, Berklee maintenance.
Well, and I'm like buck
they
ass.
do good jobs.
Yep.
I'm buck ass naked, and there's glass everywhere, and I'm like, my clothes are on the other side of the room, so I'm like, do I go naked into my room that's just across the hall, like make the jump, because the doors to the bathroom and our room were just completely like in front of each other. So do I jump through the hallway in case someone catches my schlong just flopping through, or do I risk like stepping on broken glass and slipping and cutting my dick off as I'm grabbing my pants, you know? So I ended up doing the jump. I like looked down the hallway, see if I could hear anyone in the stairs, and I jumped into my room, buck ass naked. Thank God none of you have been in there. That would have been awesome. I was just like, hey guys, FYI.
That's great.
Dude, you know what that would lead to.
Mm-hmm. Oof. Little good old Dungeon and Dragons, except the other one.
I call this one Excalibur.
Roll your dice for stealth.
For acrobatics, for sleight of hand.
Roll for performance.
Oh god. It is so funny how quickly Dungeons and Dragons. That must be my dog you're hearing bark. Yeah. It's quarantine time, so nothing's quiet.
But also everything's quiet.
Hey man, you've got your dog. I've got my coughing.
But also everything's quiet. Dungeons and Dragons. It's so funny how quickly it goes from epic to completely. That is my dog. That it goes from epic to completely sexual in almost every single instant. I mean, one minute we're like, okay, we're doing this bad, and we're killing a dragon, using Excalibur, and then the next moment it's okay, I want to entertain this bar maiden. Can I go get a room at an inn? Can I strip for money? It just slowly becomes like, are you just trying to live your fantasies through my game? It's a fantasy game,
Jake,
bro.
Every time we're always in a farm, Jake's always like, oh, is there any marijuana? Is there any drugs?
Can I buy any drugs? It's like, are you trying to get high?
The Hobbit weed is supposed to be the best weed.
It's one thing to get high. It's another thing to pretend to get high. That is a whole other level. When in game, you are asking, is there any?
No, we could have taken role playing to a whole new level. and whenever we got high in the game, actually just pulled something out.
Yeah.
No, it was like it was always like, we just killed this dragon. You want to fuck in that fountain?
Oh my god.
That fountain looks awesome.
Oh, it'd be great fighting a dragon on acid. Although I think the game would just become chaos. I don't think that we'd be able to really. It would just become, oh my god, look at these tiny people in my hands.
Yeah, you can't go too crazy with the game, but there's like a certain amount of crazy that just makes it fun. It's just like.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, roll for dick size, for example. Is the best one.
You go on any social media platform, Tumblr if you're a Tumblr boy, Instagram, Twitter, all that, and you find all these memes like rolling for dick size. Oh god.
Quarantine. Don't mind me, just sitting at home watching Netflix until my brain becomes a beanbag chair, while I spend only 5 minutes at the end of the day looking through stuff for work and school. For the 30th day in a row. Clearly, it looks like your gears aren't up in order like they used to be. You should try Music Bolt. Music Bolt is a super easy and inexpensive way to get online music lessons. They teach a wide variety of instruments and genres and provide everything that's necessary for the students to practice over. This includes professionally made videos and play-alongs and online PDFs of notes and practice sheets from the teachers. Get your lessons today by emailing musicfromhome3@gmail.com or by calling 215-588-0565. So get off the couch and pick up a new skill today. You'll come out cooler than you were before. The most, dude. Watching movies with you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
We watched some pretty good,
freaking great movies. Dude, not gonna lie, the whatchamacallit, the movie with the guy from Twilight.
Good Time.
No, not Good Time. The other one. I saw Good.
The
Lighthouse?
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. Yeah, dude, that movie. Holy crap, that was so good.
It's so good.
I swear.
It is.
I swear I will cut out all of my coughs.
No, I got it. I'm the master editor. And just for saying that, I'm going to keep all your coughs.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I've got it. Maybe I've got it.
Bro.
Rest in peppers.
It's so crazy how right now, I mean, if anything, right now is the time to watch movies.
That's right. But yet again, I don't want to watch movies for a good just sit in my room and watch movies for 5 months because damn, that sounds depressing.
It does, but it's interesting because I look at a movie like The Lighthouse and you immediately are inspired to create something after you watch that movie. And I make a lot of short films, and here I am with all these fucking ideas, and I want to make short films, but I can't see anyone, right? I can't go near anyone, and I'm glad that it's like that right now. We all need to stay safe. It makes sense. But it does kind of suck to have, I think for artists in particular who like to collaborate, I mean, musicians who want to just be in the studio. It's hard to have all these ideas and have to keep them to yourself and not collab on something with someone else.
I get that.
That's kind of where the downer moods come for me, right? During this time.
Before we started getting together to write stuff, I just had all of these drum ideas that were just kind of sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, what? Yeah. How can I get all this? And I changed so much shit, and I felt because when we were working separate, you were just working with that first recording I sent you,
yeah.
And then I changed almost everything. I was like,
except for maybe the A section. Oh yeah, wait, no, you changed the A section. Screw you, fuck you.
I actually did change it.
It's funny.
Actually, you changed it so it was a lot easier for me. Thank you, I guess, but
let's talk a little bit about that song. Let's do it.
No, we don't want to give too many spoils, but we could talk a little bit.
Well, we can talk a little bit about time signature.
Oh yeah.
And how you guys love what I created for you.
Oh yeah. Jack was very avant-garde, and he just went total ape shit on this one part.
Those things sound like you go like 18, like 18, 17, 17, 18 or something with the syllables.
Well, go ahead and pat out the A section. Just pat out the A section.
Wait, I have it somewhere here. Let me get it.
He's got it.
Do you have my program drum part for the for that?
I have the Jack's transcription for the thing. So okay, so here's how it goes. So it goes 2 bars of 7/8, and then a bar of 3/8, and then 2 more bars of 7/8, and then a bar of 10/8, a bar of 7/8, and then 2 bars of 9/8, and then a 2/4, and then we go into the
Well, and here's the thing, I have to say this because people right now who are listening are probably like, hey, this pretentious asshole who thinks he's cool doing this weird shit. I'm not a musician, bro. Like, I'm not thinking of time signatures. I'm writing this shit. I'm just coming up with lyrics and figuring out a melody, and then all of a sudden you guys are like, what the fuck did you do, you fucking asshole? You know,
it took
everyone
me, like,
who thinks this is on purpose
to like look at it and like be like, oh, okay, that's where I come in. Be like, fuck. Yeah. It was like 2 weeks.
It's
2 weeks.
You look at something like
it's a 4. It's like a 4 bar. It's like a 4. Only 4 phrases. It's like 18 16th notes and then 18 16th notes or whatever, and just 4 phrases. And those like 4 groupings of 16ths took me like 45 minutes to come up with something to put over them for drums.
Yeah. Well, it's like The Lighthouse is a weird ass film.
Yeah.
Right? A weird ass film. But they didn't just make a film to go, hey, let's do something weird. You know, they had like a thought process behind it, and it just probably ended up being weird, right?
Well, not only that, like
this.
It wasn't weird. It was weird, but it also made you think about a lot of things. Like,
it was completely
what
warranted.
Was the actual story? It could have been anything.
Well, yeah, it was.
It could have been anything.
It was deserved, and it was like, is this the whole thing just a symbol for like a married couple? You know, or like lovers, or are these like a father figure and a son? Like, you can come from all these things from it because it wasn't. Sometimes people do this, creators do this, where they think, I want to do this really weird thing. Okay, well, how do I justify it? Well, instead of doing that, The Lighthouse says, I want to do these things. Oh wow, that ends up being kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is way cooler than someone who's just like, I want to do something fucking weird. Like, I wanted to write a film where at the very end, a guy who's allergic to peanuts dies by being covered with peanut butter.
See, that's creative. Like, no one's ever probably thought of that, but like, and that's such a creative thing. Like,
well, I gave it just this random ass story with that was the ending. And my brother, who's a film writing major at UT, the 5th best ranked film writing school in the nation, so he knows his stuff obviously a lot better than me, was like, you can't just do this. Like, I love this ending, but you can't just do this to get this ending. We have to make it make sense. And so we wrote a script together called The Crust.
The Crust.
You know,
beware
the crust. About these, like, I won't really go into detail, but about these like frat guys and this like hazing that happens, and there's a serial killer, and that's how one of the characters dies at the end. But it makes sense, but I do get to have my weird ending, right? I get to have my weird ending, but it means something, you know. People, and that bringing that into our song that we wrote, it would be one thing just to be like, hey, let's do a song with all these weird ass time signatures, and that's all that the song is.
It kind of just happens.
It just happens, right? You just you get these ideas, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that just ended up being kind of crazy.
Although I do like the
way that
dice idea that Dillinger Escape Plan, that everyone thought that Dillinger Escape Plan made their songs by rolling 2 dice and like, there's your time signature, and like, you know, that's it. It's just like, we should do that.
Well, and that itself has meaning to it too.
Yeah.
to do something, because that's to do something on purpose randomly, right? Rather than just willy-nilly doing, like, if you're making a stance of this is creative because it's completely, random, like that's also a choice you're making, right? Everything's a choice.
Well, the way that I kind of had it is just, I had the mindset of, if this is a prog song, we can't let certain things drone on too long. Because especially when you're making a 10-minute song, you can't let you have to make it entertaining enough to hold somebody's attention for 10 minutes. So whenever we came up with ideas, I just thought of like, what are my options for messing around with that? So then sometimes I'd be like, oh, that sounds pretty good in a 7, or I can put triplets over that, or I can do a 3/4 here. And I just kind of looked at all the options that I had, and I just picked the ones that I thought fit the best. So I'm a little bit more in my head with the math than you are.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm doing this,
I can imagine. That's your guys' job, right? And that's where like the beauty of what you guys do and how like much I freaking respect it comes into play, because anyone can write lyrics, and it's true. Like really, anyone can write lyrics. But what gives the lyrics meaning is the music paired with it. Like, I've never been the guy who's like, well, it's got to be more about the music and less about the lyrics, or it's got to be all about the lyrics and less about the music. It should be about both. And they should complement each other. They should both be able to live on their own, and when they come together, be even better, right? Whenever you have something that can't live on its own on either end, then they're not really complementing the other one to the same extent, right? Remember the night? No, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to that point, we have a project we're meant to do, where we're meant to write like a piece of art about the whole coronavirus thing, and a lot of people are going to be writing lyrics. And my idea was, if you're writing lyrics about coronavirus, what I'm going to do is I'm taking the number of people who have died in each country, and I'm using those numbers to make the music.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So you can have lyrics that are explicitly about the crisis and everything, but then you can actually have like the cost.
That's actually really interesting.
Embedded in the music.
Meaningful musicians. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that the feel of what you're doing too will complement it too, right?
Yeah, obviously. Like, you can't, if it's like a sadder, like more ballady song, then you would have to go more of a fusion, or more of a lighter feel, like an old 70s prog feel.
Yeah.
But if it was an angrier song,
which it could
about,
be too,
like you hate what's happening.
Yeah.
Then it would be a heavier song, a more metal song, a more frantic song.
And it can be all these things, right? It can be all these things.
Yeah.
And the beauty is
you can mix emotions.
You can do that with those numbers. That's awesome.
And just to be aware to the audience, like, so even though we're in like a progressive metal band or something, like, that doesn't mean like we only just do like metal songs and stuff. Like, we're planning to do like a lot of, I mean, this is more different because like we're incorporating this with a lot of like theater elements as well. We're having a lot of shining moments for a lot of characters and stuff. So there's gonna be like sad moments and ballads, and other things like that. But there's also gonna be like, just like you said, those angry moments and stuff where we're gonna have like like a fight scene or something with like something happening. And a lot of where we're at also makes a different theme of what each song is gonna be like, which is really cool.
For our first song, I described it to Ray Hearn as, we're just taking our cock out.
That's
exactly. Like, that's what we're.
Honestly,
that's what all of us are doing. Like, Jack, you're using your entire range for this.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, honestly,
you're going from your lowest note to your highest note. We're doing every time signature we can think of. We're doing every mood.
I go from an E2 to a G sharp is the note that you add into that, a G sharp, a G sharp 4, right? So an E2, which is, I can actually play it right now. That is an E2 to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the fuck? Number one, thanks guys for that bullshit. But also, no, it's really fun. It's weird because like you look at a band like Ween, and I know you guys don't know that band as much as I do, but I love Ween. But all their songs are completely different, but you would never not know it was Ween by hearing the song, right? And I think that's the goal, is like to confine yourself to a genre. You know, it's fine if you want to tell people what you are, like the bassist, like, okay, well, we're basically a metal prog band. If you're into that, you're going to like us. But then to be able to say, like, you know, we might stray from that, but you'll always know it's us. You know, you'll always know it's us who are playing the song.
Right.
Well, that's just kind of taking all of the genre blends and keeping it into like a core story or a core feel that you have.
Yeah.
So for prog, it's really easy because prog's all about genre blending. Mm-hmm. So you can just keep your core rock or metal feel, and then you can use stuff from all the other genres. Not to spoil anything, but just to give basic kind of plans. Like we're taking stuff from like medieval minstrel music. We're taking stuff from like pirate type
there's some crazy
jigs and all that.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons concept album, which we can say.
I mean, we literally do everything in the book. Like, there's like a disco scene, I'm sure, and there's like a party scene. You know, there's like I'm sure that we could do like some funny like jazz.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be jazz.
Whatever.
I was just gonna say,
or like a country thing.
Yeah, there's gonna be like an 8-bit techno thing.
Yeah. Honestly, an 8-bit techno thing would come in there. I mean, it's really funny because writing the stuff is so free range too.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
I was just honestly like narration is gonna be cool. I think as well. Like the idea that sometimes things don't need to be sung, because just like, and this is me pulling theater into metal. But the whole idea in theater is, why do you start singing? Well, because you can't just put it into words. You have to sing it, right? You get to the point emotionally where you have to sing it, and that's kind of what we're doing for some of these songs. It's like I'm never gonna sing something that I wouldn't feel has to be sung, right? And in other moments, there might be times when it just doesn't need to be. Opera is kind of weird that way. I like opera. I think it's cool, but I do think sometimes when you're singing, I have to go get the groceries, you're like, okay.
Chill.
Okay, what is
go
that?
Get your groceries.
Yeah, go get your groceries, bro. Why did you need to sing that? Is my question.
Like,
you know,
I need to go get groceries.
I need to go get the groceries. You didn't need to sing that. There's nothing in your body going, oh, the groceries. I mean, right now, during the quarantine, maybe you would sing I need to go get the groceries, because you're literally walking into a battlefield. Where the enemy is unseen. Everything, it's totally sounds pretentious, but everything has a reason, right? I mean, art is really, really cool, and I love that everyone.
Yeah, art is cool.
You know, right? Yeah, so cool. Let's get into this, man. Let's get existential. Let's get existential.
So is the color?
The
color purple actually purple? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I hate that
when
question.
When you see a color, do you see the same colors that I see?
Okay, all right, bud.
Or do we just call it the same thing?
I hate that question, what is art? Because if you're even going to ask the question, to me, to even ask the question is bullshit. Because the answer, no one's going to, one, like it, and two, it just doesn't need to be one. Be entertained. Fucking just be entertained or entertain. Or entertain yourself or entertain someone else. Who gives a fuck, right? The idea of what is art, I don't like the question. I don't think it needs to be asked.
No, you're totally right.
Personally.
Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the podcast.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm gonna end it there. All right, I'm gonna cut.
End it on the existential note.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for stopping by and getting talking and stuff. And yeah.
Hey, dude, thanks for having us, man. Honestly.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
I absolutely miss you guys. Like, seriously, like,
I miss
dude,
you too,
always
man.
I would do
pleasure.
anything to just get just like talk to someone, an actual person. Like, it sucks.
Right.
Oh man. I'd give my left nut to make physical contact with a human being.
and then you'd give your left nut.
And then I give the
and
rest
then you
of my
give
nut.
your right. Oh God!
Thank you guys so much for listening. This is the 3 a.m. podcast. 3 a.m. podcast is brought to you by Music Bolt, the world's best and easiest and most interactive way to get online music lessons. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one. Welcome to the podcast. Today we are going to do some ASMR.